name's Matika, and before I get started, I just want to set up how to be here so you get the most value. Normally, I get $500 an hour for consulting, so can you pretend that you can pay $500? So that would mean you probably have your cell phone off, your iPad, no distractions. Just for 50 minutes, 45 now. We're starting about a couple minutes after. So can you guys do that? And my promise to you, if you do that, is this will be extremely valuable to you. It could even alter your life forever. We're going to do an exercise in here that changed my life when I was down and out, bankruptcy, foreclosure, losing my home. It was a tough time. I had a baby and another one on the way. But let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh. Anybody from around that area? Yeah? Okay. A little town called Ambridge on the Ohio River. My father worked in a steel mill. My mother was at home, 4 kids, and we weren't poor, but we didn't have a lot of money. I got my clothes and my food, basically. It wasn't bad, but I learned at an early age, when I asked for a pair of Italian loafers that I wanted for $9.99 in an Antelope shoe store, that my mother said, we can't afford those. So at that point, I decided I better get independent here and make a little money on my own. So I started working at 7, delivering newspapers. By the time I was 10, I was caddying and shining shoes. Then I had an experience that changed my life. I was 12 and just got done caddying, and a couple card sharks from the local town came up, and we used to gamble afterwards with the money we made, play poker, and they took all our money. And I said, I just worked 5 hours carrying 2 bags, $7 in those days. Tells you how old I am. And they took the money like that. And I decided at that time, the mind was the way to make money. Because you can only do so much with your 2 feet, your 2 hands, 1 phone, whatever you're doing to make your money. So I studied poker. I did play sports in high school, 4 sports I lettered in. I went to college on a football scholarship at Villanova University around Philadelphia, played there. And I decided I was going to play professional football. My backup plan was to play poker if that didn't work out. I had a major, industrial management. I picked it only because I was good with math. How many people in here, you got a major, you change it, you're not sure even what you're doing in college. I mean, right? Most people don't know what they're doing necessarily in the future. So they pick something that looks like it appeals to you. And that's fine. But as life goes on and things unfold, you may see some other things that you like and change your mind, and that's okay. But I was looking for something in math, industrial management. I graduated from Villanova 1973, and I figured that I would have to go put a suit and tie on, work on Wall Street or IBM or Xerox, was a big company back then, and that's where all my friends were going. The pressure was on me to get a job. I had a Villanova education. My mother would say, well, what are you doing? What are you going to do? Anybody getting pressure from their parents about what you're going to do when you're ready to say, you got to get an internship, you got to do this, you got to pay. We paid a lot of money for the college education, which was very expensive compared to when I went to school. So I had pressure from my mother and father, not so much my father, but my mother for sure. And also my girlfriend, she wanted me to get a real job so, we could have a future together. I remember when I told her I'm playing poker, she cried because it looked like the end of our relationship. She couldn't see a future without me getting a standardized mainstream job. Why do I tell you all that? Because a lot of you are going to come up, you're going to graduate from school, you're going to see what's important to you. You may get forced into a selling out situation where you have loans that are due in 6 months and you got to get to work, okay? You might come out with your major, your diploma, and there's not much available. You know that the average college debt right now is $34,000 per student when they graduate. 85% of the students are moving home because not much work available or enough to pay for their own place. These are the facts. It's not something to get depressed about, because you can. If you want to think, oh, there's nothing out there, and be a victim of the circumstances. Or you can create your own future. That's what I recommend to you. Start looking at what's important to you in life. What is it that you like? Observe other people, the way they live, right? See, write some things down that are important to you as you're observing. It may not be around your major. I spoke at Villanova 2 days ago. A girl was an environmental major, but she loves skiing. kind of one's over here, one's over there, right? So I said, look, why don't you start looking at ski companies, find out people that work at ski companies. Maybe you'll start a class teaching children skiing, but she loves skiing. So you're able to get inventive, especially if you've come out of school and there's not much in your major anyhow. That could be a positive thing for you because you might have chosen a major like me and you came out and said, industrial management, suit and tie business, that's not my thing. But I paid all this money and I put 4 years into it, what do I do? So you may find yourself in that situation in a year or two. I'm going to fast forward what happened in my life. So I played poker for, I guess, about to the age of 31, and I had a handicapping business for professional football bettors, so I was in the gambling industry. Back then, poker was not on TV like it was. It was more of a stigma attached. A gambler, I was a professional gambler. And because of the football strike in 1982, before most of you were born, I had a football service and playing poker, and I ended up, there was no money being sent to me in my football consulting business. So in a matter of months, I was behind on my mortgage. I had to declare bankruptcy just so I wouldn't get thrown out of my house. I had a baby, 2-year-old kid, and another one on the way, and I felt I was a failure as a father, a husband, and a businessman. Down and out. What I did is I said a prayer, because I didn't know what else to do those days, and woke up the next day, had to go look for a job. I'd always been in business for myself. But to provide for my family, I'd do whatever it takes. I found a health and nutrition ad in a newspaper in the Philadelphia Inquirer the next day. I had been taking supplements for about 10 years. By the way, I was now $76,000 in debt at the age of 31. My plan was, when I was young, about your age, by the time I was 30, I'd be a millionaire. I was a little off track. And I had to tell the truth to myself that this was me. I did blame the football league for going on strike and said it was their fault. But you know, when you blame other people for your situation, you never get anywhere. If I could tell you one thing that's really important today is if you could be responsible for your life, how it turns out and how it doesn't go, and say, I'm the source of that, you'll get some real power in your life. If you become the victim of your circumstances, like there's no work out there, I picked the wrong major, I have the wrong parents, I grew up in the wrong town, you'll never get anywhere. So that's the first thing I want to say to you. I got responsible back then for myself. I started going and working on myself. What does that mean? Doing transformational seminars, reading books, attending lectures. How could I get out of this situation? I was fortunate enough to go to a seminar and they offered a more money course. Now I'm $76,000 in debt. My mortgage back then was $682 and I only had about $500. And I'm getting ready to get kicked out. They said it was $150. It's the next night. It was Tuesday night, Wednesday night. I attended it, and I got to the source of all my financial problems that night. That transformed my life. I got on track with my health and nutrition business, and today I'm a self-made millionaire. Okay, I don't have to work. I take an 8-week vacation at my summer home in Saratoga Springs, where I go to the races. I love horse racing still, and I go to that 6 days a week. I have my own table up there. I also do a lot of other vacationing. I'm a father of 4 kids, 31, 29, 12, and 5. Got a 5-year-old. He was a surprise, but we love him. He's given me youth because at my age you need all the help you can get, right? So why do I tell you all that? I transformed my life out of this one exercise that I got out of this seminar. And what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to go through a couple of things before I do this exercise with you to realize that you are just like a computer. You have software up here. It's been, not bred, but it's been infused into you since you were born. Your first teachers were your programmers, and that was your parents. They told you certain things. They told you this is a chair, this is green, this is white, and money doesn't grow on trees. Okay? That's a chandelier, that's a door, money's dirty, always wash your hands when you touch it. Okay? Here's a table, here's a phone, and it takes hard work to make money. Hard work. So you start to hear all these terms, and you turn them into beliefs because everything else your parents said was true. You know, this is a chair, this is a table, so they must know what they're talking about. Those are your first teachers, and that's the beginning of your programming. We are programmed. If you could just get that, We're no different than computers except we have emotions. We think we're making some choices, but to be honest with you, how many people woke up this morning, brushed your teeth, went through your whatever, although you're in a hotel and you're on the road, it might have been a little different. But you know what I'm saying? You wake up every morning, you do the same routine. There's no thinking, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just how we develop ourselves. After your parents, you have siblings, you have relatives that start telling you things, maybe grandparents. Then you go to school and the teachers start telling you things. This is all building up on what you believe and making your rules about how life goes. In fact, how many people went to college or university or whatever and left home and you saw that people did things differently than you? And you were surprised, isn't it? Like I had a guy that brushed his teeth with warm water and I brushed with cold. And I argued with him about cold was the right way because I always did cold. I was told, you know? So the same thing with eating. I was going to cafeteria and guys were putting ketchup in their eggs. I go, oh my God, how could you put ketchup? That's all they've ever done is put ketchup in their eggs. I never put ketchup in my eggs. So as you get into schools, you start to see people have different things that they were taught and believed were the ways things work. That's just it. And then you get exposed in school and you start saying, oh, things may not be. Other teachers that program you are coaches. You can get programmed through religion. Whatever religion you were brought up in, there's a lot of rules around religion. You can get programmed from your culture. I was Serbian and Slovak. That's my background. My grandmother always told me, never marry a Croatian girl, only marry a Serbian girl. I'm in America. They're all the same to me. You know, Grandma said, what's the deal? Her belief was the Croatians and the Serbians fought for hundreds of years. So you start to get the feeling of you're making up these rules in life. And then you do that around money, too. You do that around relationships. You do that around health. You do that around education. And this is how we get programmed. You also have things that happen to you in life that don't work out. You might do something that you feel bad about it, you feel guilty. Okay? I stole money from my mother's white bowl. I noticed that was a thing I had going on with money. No wonder that I turned out to be bankrupt at 31. I was guilty still. I did that when I was a kid. And I felt really guilty about it. So there's guilt. There's fear, worry, resentment. There's regrets that you have. All these things get programmed into who you are today. If you're a human being, you have programming. And most of it is not positive, to be honest with you. Okay? What you do is then you develop a story about yourself. Who you are. You think you're this kind of, oh, I'm not that good at this, or I'm bad at this, or, you know, I know how to dance, but my studies, you know, not so good at it. I'm not smart. So you have in your subconscious, due to the memories and the learning that you've developed, made up rules about yourself. And those rules and that belief system is what's running your life today. It's running my life. It's running everybody's life. Okay, so are you with me? Okay, that's good. Now, if you don't think you're programmed, is there anybody that doesn't think they have programming? You don't think you have any?
Not much.
Okay. Well, we're going to do an exercise. We'll find out, okay? So let's see. So I wrote this book, A Simple Guide to Unleash Your Spirit, because I realized in life that people are, these programs that or beliefs and rules that we've made up limit us, okay? So how would you like to get to the limits that you've set up in a certain area where you feel stopped, stuck, putting up with, and you're trying to change, but it's not moving anywhere? Any area of your life, doesn't matter. It could be relationships, it could be money, career, health, family. This is a confronting conversation, by the way, to really look at yourself. But it's going to be free if you do this, okay? So what I'd like you all to do is get a piece of paper out. Okay, just like this. And at the top, get your pencil. And pick an area of your life that you feel like you're not winning in. Let's just put it that way. You're not getting where you want to go. You know, where you're stuck, you're not moving along, you feel like it could be health, relationship, money, career, you can't figure it out. For me? Just do one for this. But once we're done with this exercise with that particular area that you picked, then you'll be able to apply this anywhere in life. I just did this exercise recently with my wife. We felt our relationship was a little stale. You know, we weren't thrilled about it, the way things were. We're not divorcing or anything, but, you know, we're going through the motions. It was like an automatic relationship. Anybody ever have an automatic relationship? Like, you're younger, but, you know, we've had them. It gets that way sometimes. The first 6 months are great. And then, you know, after that, it's okay, yeah, you know, some of the what do you call it, spark is gone. So we did this exercise with each other. I said I deserve to have a great relationship with Laura, that's her name, but we wrote down what was there for me, and she did the same thing. So this is how the exercise works. And this is a powerhouse. So I really advise you to just write this thing down and work with this, because you will leave here today being able to use this anywhere in your life and get power where you've lost it, okay? So here's how it goes. For instance, I deserve to be wealthy was the one I did that night in 1982, that Wednesday night in the More Money seminar. I deserve to be wealthy, but, and then you write whatever comes to you. So if you're choosing money, you can say wealthy, right, if you want that. Or if it's maybe a relationship, I deserve to have a great relationship, but I deserve to have, what are some other things that are important to people? Shout it out. A great career, but I deserve to have a, did you say something?
A well-paying job.
Well-paying job, perfect, but, so everybody picks something that's important to you. I deserve to have a healthy body, but, okay, I deserve to have a great friends, but. Okay, so write it down, and then just keep writing anything that comes to you. I'll continue to stimulate your mind. So for instance, I'll give you mine. The first time I did, I deserve to be wealthy, but I'm lazy. First thing that came up for me. Okay? I deserve to be wealthy, but I don't want to work for anybody. I deserve to be wealthy, but I'm a bad boy. I stole money from my mother's crystal ball, you know, where all the change was. I deserve to be wealthy, but I partied too much in college. Okay? I deserve to be wealthy, but I don't know what I want to do. These are some things you can start thinking that you've said about yourself. That's in the area of wealth and money. I deserve to be, if you want to do relationships, I deserve to have a great relationship, but I like my freedom. I deserve to have a great relationship, but I'm afraid of commitment. So, just pick one. Yeah, I'm just giving in case a couple people have different things. I just did the one that night, and that was about wealth, because I was 76,000 in debt, and that was a major issue in my life, okay? So I picked wealth, man, because they told me, you know, this is a money seminar. I said, let me get it, because I had no clue about money. But I had all these rules that I had made up. Money doesn't grow on trees. I deserve to be wealthy, but it's hard work. I deserve to be wealthy, but you need money to make money. I deserve to be wealthy, but, you know, money's the root of all evil. You've heard some of these things, right? You've heard them. You know, there's a lot of sayings. You can get them through religion, you get them through songs. You know, and that stuff gets repeated in you. And you have software that's running those rules, and that's how your life is going, and you don't even realize it. So, keep writing. And if nothing comes to you, just be quiet for a second and just let your mind be peaceful, because this will come from your subconscious mind where all memories are kept, not your conscious mind. Your conscious mind say, oh yeah, I can do that. I can make money. Oh, you know, it's no problem. I'll work hard. I'll find the right job. But just be with the buts. The buts are telling you what you said about why it's not going to happen. Or why you don't have what it takes. Or why you're not good enough. Or smart enough. Or there's something wrong with you. These are all judgments that we've passed on ourselves. And but implies your justifications. What there really are is rules and beliefs that you've made up over time. And by the way, you have evidence for these, because you can say, I've been through 4 relationships, and I broke every one of them because I needed my freedom. So you think that's the truth about Or you've had money and lost it. I deserve to be wealthy, but I'll lose it all. I don't know how to manage